let's talk about the video I made on the 4th of July. It wasn't a popular video, and I didn't expect it to be, but what did surprise me is what some of the people I know in real life said about it afterward. Now, to be fair, this video was shown to them at a family gathering on somebody's phone, and they probably didn't read the description, but still, I found the comments strange, and I felt like I should revisit the topic. In case you weren't there, I read the Declaration of Independence. I did nothing else. No verbal explanation, no interpretation, I just read the document. Why would I do that? Well, there was a time in living memory when no 4th of July celebration was complete without somebody reading the Declaration of Independence. The reason for this? The very date of the celebration is the date on the document. We are literally celebrating our Declaration of Independence. It can be said with great solemnity that our nation was born with this document. A document that is not part of the Constitution, a document that set forth no laws or regulations, a document that simply and profoundly stated that we intended to take hold of our destiny and that we believed certain things that we overwhelmingly still believe today. And that then set about explaining why we needed to be free from England. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You may have forgotten where that came from, but you know those words. They're the words that started this thing we call the United States. Those words were the birth of our nation. We are still struggling to live up to them and still falling short, but it's a struggle worth having. One person, not an uneducated person, said about my video that she didn't understand what I was talking about, but that I seemed kind of angry. I wasn't angry, but you can bet your stars and garters that Thomas Jefferson was a little miffed. You don't start wars over nothing. It says in there, prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. And this too is still true. And it's timely. People all over the world are still trying to figure out how to make governments for themselves, and revolutions are still happening. But nobody revolts lightly, so almost the whole second half of this document is filled with angry diatribes against the king. There's a shameful bit in there at the end of this diatribe where the Declaration says, "He has excited domestic insurrections among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions." And I think it's good to reflect on where we've been historically and the wrongs we've done, and how much closer we are to the ideal of all men, including everybody. Let's not forget our shameful past. Then the document explains that from the perspective of our founders, we tried to reconcile our differences with England, but that it didn't work out. And so now we are declaring ourselves a separate nation. And it ends with, "And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." I leave you with this thought. Fireworks are expensive and have little to do with who we are and the few things we still have in common and that we can agree on. But we all still agree that we should hold some truths to be self-evident. And I think Independence Day is a good day to remember that. Bye-bye.
Well, that was random.